Hey everybody, JC here. Happy Wednesday morning. It's about 11 o'clock, 11:15 in the morning. About to go pick up my brother-in-law from his rehab facility and bring him home. He is done with the initial parts of his rehab. He's able to stand and walk on his own and do a few other things on his own. And so, about to go pick him up and bring him home. Let's go. Right. As you can see, it's a bit of a rainy day. All right, get by my neighbor's GMC and my brother-in-law's GMC. Yeah, it's definitely been a rainy couple of days here in the Houston metro area. A little bit light right now, but I would say it's kind of like in that heavy mist range. It's not a full-on rain, but it's also a bit more than just a mist. It's that light rain. It's about 73 degrees. There we go. We got a little bit more of it coming in. So not sure what to expect along the way. My guess is just a lot of this all the way to the Woodlands. But yeah, excited about that. So my brother-in-law is completely done with all of his surgeries. He's had 2 major surgeries. Let's see, 3 to 4 months apart. Let's see, he had his neck surgery right before Halloween. So November, December, January. Yeah, so about 3 months apart. So he had a neck surgery back around Halloween time, the last week of October, up in Kentucky. Had to stay in the hospital for a little over a week there while we watched after him. Brought him home, let him rehab here for a couple of months, and then he had to go in and get the second surgery, the back surgery on his lower back. And that one did a doozy on him. But he got that a couple of weeks ago. And in fact, I think, let me see here. He got that, was that a Monday or Tuesday? I believe that was a Monday. So been about 2.5 weeks since his back surgery. And he was in the hospital for 2 or 3 days after that in post-op. And then I went and moved him over to the rehab facility in the Woodlands, and that was almost 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago tomorrow, in fact. Oh, it's coming down a little harder now. We've definitely got some rain coming through. So it's kind of a nice surprise that we were going to be able to bring him home. Basically, a couple of weeks after his surgery. After I saw how he was after his back surgery, I'm going to be honest, I thought it might be a bit longer, but that's what those rehab facilities are good for. They really help you work through that, gain some mobility. All right, I'm going to concentrate on the weather and the roads here for just a little bit, since we're on a country road with a couple of big ditches on the side and some standing water. So I'm going to kind of put my attention towards that for a bit here until we get on a more regular type of road. Not that for all you rural folk, I'm not saying this is irregular. It's obviously, y'all know this. It's just more difficult. And the ramifications are higher since it's a ditch with standing water. All right. Come up to the 3-way stop. Come to a complete and total stop. Take our right. There we go. Avoid that van that was going wide. but there's no lane markings to tell him he was going wide. All right, we're coming up to our railroad intersection at the intersection of 494 and Knox Road. Looks like we've got a couple of vehicles had some issues up here, but fortunately looks like they've got it under control. All right, we'll move up over the railroad tracks, come up to the stop sign. We have got a two-way stop here because the 494 traffic has the right of way. We got a vehicle coming in, making their left turn for them. We've still got oncoming vehicles coming from the right, but we got a gap. We take it. Great job. Excellent job. Very good job with tough conditions and oncoming vehicles. All right, we're going to take a right turn onto an even smaller country road. We've got a truck here at the intersection, so we need to, there we go, stay in our lane, which does not exist, but make a lane. All right, this road is even rougher. It's smaller, i.e. more narrow. It's really truly a one-lane road that they use as a two-lane. Ditches on both sides. All right, we're coming up to the feeder of 59 East Tex Freeway going northbound. Got a stop sign here at the feeder, so we'll come up to that and come to a complete stop, and then we'll start creeping up. There we go, we're creeping up. We do have oncoming vehicles, so we gotta wait. Still got oncoming vehicles. All right, gotta identify a gap. Great job right behind that dump. Oh my gosh, that was excellent. That was excellent, because had we stayed in that rightmost lane, it might have been a doozy trying to get over. That was awesome. Got in right behind that dump truck. Perfect job. All right, we are up on 59 East Tex Freeway going northbound. We're going to be here for about 2.5 miles till we get to Highway 99, and we'll go westbound on Highway 99. So as you can see, definitely not the best weather. We're doing good. So one other thing to point out, we are in the hurry mode. And for any of you that have seen my videos in the past, you know exactly what the hurry mode will and can do. Can and will do on 59 East Tex Freeway. Notice we are only going 70. So the software has limited the maximum speed to 70 miles per hour. And it shows at the very top left, hurry, but then it says 70 max. And that is the software autonomously doing that because it understands the elements, the inclement weather that we're driving through right now. That's pretty good. I like that. I did not program that to do anything. We are still on the hurry mode with 50% automatic set speed offset. So its selection of a maximum of 70 miles per hour at this point in time was completely autonomous. All right, we got about 3/4 of a mile. There we go. We're going to get over to the right again. All right, the rain seemed to have calmed down a bit. Still wet. Obviously, as you can see, the roads are wet and water's being flung back into everyone's windshield from the wet roads. But at least the rain isn't coming down torrentially. All right, we get all the way over to the rightmost lane so we can take the ramp to Highway 99 going westbound. There we go. We're going to get up on the ramp, get launched into orbit. Take a swig of my coffee here. Very good. Coming around on the ramp. And apologies, I know I'm not talking about much else other than my brother-in-law and the weather right now. Once we get to let's see, it seems like it's getting a little better here, although my windshield wipers are telling me, no, we still got water coming back in our face, but that's fine. Yeah, so this may be one of those trips I just need to concentrate a little bit more on the elements and the roads as well as the human drivers around me. Yep, now we are on Highway 99. We get over to the middle lane, get off of the ramp. Good job. This is a 70 mile per hour zone on Highway 99. I will tell you, under normal circumstances, the hurry mode would be going about 81, 82 through here, which is quite fine. That's basically the traffic flow. But currently, as you can see, we're sticking right around 71, 72. So we're going about 10 miles per hour slower than the hurry mode would typically go through here on this road. You got a stranded vehicle to the right. They've definitely seen better days. All right, yep, 73. So you can tell we're going a good 10 miles per hour slower. Now, interestingly, on this one, it says hurry mode, as it always does at the top, because that's what I've selected. But it does not give a max. It's not showing that it's setting a limit at 70. So it is still autonomously selecting a speed that is objectively slower than when we normally come through here, but it's not setting a max for itself right now. And probably because the conditions on this road compared to 59 East X Freeway going northbound is not as bad. Yeah, I mean, we still have some light rain. We still have wet roads, obviously. But you can see that since objectively the conditions are better here than it was on 59 East X, that it's autonomously, all right, we're putting on our right blinker. Looks like we're going to be taking 13, 14. So we are getting off of Highway 99 westbound, taking the off ramp to go to FM 1314. And what FM 1314 does is it takes a northwesterly route to connect the Porter, New Caney area to the Woodlands, but it's definitely more rural. It's definitely, the path most traveled would be to take Highway 99 all the way over to Interstate 45, take I-45 north up to the Woodlands. But we have chosen the more countrified route. But that's fine. It's definitely shorter to go this way as a crow flies. Definitely shorter. I mean, it basically is the path that a crow would fly from Porter or New Caney up to the Woodlands. But as you might imagine, the big downside is you're going to go through a bunch of stoplights. But they're pretty well spread out. And the software knows. I've got Tesla navigation on as well, with it toggled to, if you can save me 60 seconds or more, save it. So it has pressed on its algorithms, done a couple of push-ups on those quadratic equations, and come up with FM 1314 is definitely the most efficient way to go. So we will be here for about another 6 miles, and then we'll go westbound on Highway 242, and that'll take us over to 45. Let me get another drink of my coffee. Got a vehicle pulling out into the middle turning lane. We slow down just a skosh. They don't do anything boneheaded. Good job. That's good coffee. Speedy Stop coffee. That's pretty good coffee, I'm telling you. That Speedy Stop or Circle K, both of those, can't go wrong. They don't have those, the pots on a burner. Most folks don't have the pots on a burner anymore. I think pretty much all convenience stores have moved towards the coffee machines. But I tell you what, Speedy Stop, Circle K, there's really, I way prefer it much more to Starbucks. That's about half the cost. All right, we are about 4.5 miles out from 242. So the last time that I did a Tesla FSD drive video, we went through a whole bunch of stuff on EV battery charging. And, if I really high level summarize it, we've kind of gone soup to nuts on EV batteries, right? I've taken you through the composition of EV batteries, the LFPs versus the lithium ion batteries, which I told you, hey, technically LFPs are lithium ion batteries, but colloquially, I'll tell you what, that is a word that down here in Texas, they just ought to get rid of. I'm trying to use the Queen's English, the best English that I have in my vocabulary, but sometimes my fat tongue will not let me say a word properly, but I still love that word, colloquially. So yeah, that they will differentiate between LFP versus lithium ion. And so when you hear the term lithium ion battery, that's always going to be one with nickel, cobalt, manganese, and aluminum. I think they call it MNCA or MCNA, for the acronym of all those. So we went through all of that. We went through the components of an EV battery, the anode, the cathode, the separator, the electrolyte, and then the cylindrical container, what they're made of, all their functionality. Then we went through how a fully charged EV actually operates an electric vehicle. I think there's like 7 or 8 steps I summarized. I took you through all of that, how it goes from you pushing a button to the motor going vroom and going forward, going backwards, and going sideways, and left, right, and all that good stuff. And then I explained what happens when you charge an EV battery. That during the operation of the EV, all those electrons and lithium ions move out of the anode, the electrons go through the electric motor, make mechanical energy, and then come back to the cathode. And then the lithium ions just go straight, they get positively charged and go straight from the anode to the cathode. And so at a certain point, all those electrons, or the majority of those electrons and lithium ions, end up over in the cathode, in the positive terminal. And when enough of that happens, your charge is really low. So that's kind of the way to look at it, is when you're fully charged, basically all those electrons and lithium ions are in the anode. By the time you get down to a 10% or less charge, all those electrons and lithium ions are over in the anode. And so now we need to charge the battery back up. And so what happens when we charge the battery is essentially, for lack of a better term, if I was going to explain it to my granny, I'd tell her, Granny, all those little doodads that went in that circle, around, took a lap around and went into that cathode thing I told you about, they need to be pushed back over to the anode. Get back over there, right? They've been playing over at the neighbor's house all day long, and it's time to get those little electrons and lithium ions back on over to Granny's house. Come back over here. So you got to push them. Sometimes you got to push them out of the door, right? That's what electric charging does. That's all it does, is it just pushes those electrons and those lithium ions back on over to the anode and get it back up to a full charge. And the only way you can do that is to apply an electrical voltage to the battery that is higher than the voltage that the battery is giving off. Well, first of all, when your battery charge is really low, that's pretty easy. But even if the battery charge is pretty high, you can still do it. You can't be operating the vehicle, right? And you have to have something that has a bit more voltage going out of it. And I told y'all that for me personally, that 110 volt outlet in my home garage is plenty enough. And it's going to be plenty enough for any EV battery. The voltage coming out of a 110 volt home outlet is always going to be more than a lithium ion battery in an EV sitting idle in your driveway. But it's just going to be a little bit more. Like just a bit more. That's all you need. You don't need to have it be humongously more. It's just got to be a little bit more, and that's enough. But when it's just a little bit more, it does it a lot slower. You're getting, what did I tell you? You're getting about 2 kilowatts out of a home outlet versus these big old DC fast chargers. You're getting 250 kilowatts. So you're getting 125x. So it's going to go a lot faster. So I told you how, in my normal day-to-day commute when I was back before I retired, that was plenty enough sufficient for me, because I was in that 50 to 100 mile daily daily trip range, and getting 12 hours of 110 volt overnight was plenty for me. But we did go through 3 groups of people that maybe that's not plenty enough for, and so they might need to either install a larger home charger that's not just the 110 volt, and they do have those. Tesla makes them, so do other companies, where instead of having a couple of kilowatts coming out of your garage, you could have 15 to 20 kilowatts coming out of your garage. Now that you got to get that installed. That's a special apparatus. It's a special home charger. You have to have a bona fide electrician come out to your house and help you install something like that. And it's probably soup to nuts going to be $1,000. Soup to nuts, equipment and electrician, at least $1,000. Probably more like $1,500. And I'm talking soup to nuts, like buying the equipment and getting an electrician to come out and take a look at your garage or the area where you're going to put it, and then getting all the equipment installed. That's probably going to be $1,000 to $1,500, unless you're an electrician yourself. Then you can probably avoid half to 2/3 of that. But still going to be, the equipment itself is probably going to be about $500, $500 to $750. But I'm going to tell you, for me personally, I just don't need it at home. Like, I don't drive 200 miles or more a day, and not have access to a Tesla charger, supercharger, I should say. So that's that part of it. Now, some folks might be curious. I mentioned to you that when I'm on the road and I'm using a Tesla fast charger, supercharger, that I try to stay in that 10 to 60%, 10 to 50% range. So I'm okay going a little bit below 10%, but in essence, I try to stay at 10 to 50 or 60. And so you might ask the question, well, JC, why do you only go up to 50 or 60%? You know, why are you trying to stay in that 10 to 60, 10 to 50% range and not just stay and get a full 100% charge? And there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, I like to pull over and walk around and do something every 2.5 to 3 hours. I just do. I don't care who you are. And maybe there's other people that don't like that. They really just want to that they're fine being in a car for hours upon end and don't want to get out and circulate the blood, walk around, get another fresh cup of coffee, whatever, bottle of water, whatever it is I'm that guy that every 2.5 hours, I just like to pull over, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. I do. So for me, it came, let me concentrate real quick. Looks like the roads are going down possibly to one lane. We just had a semi move in front of us. That's fine. But so that's me. But if I'm going to stop every 2.5 hours, and again, I told you the other drive, I'm basically the average American. You know, they've done empirical studies, and the average family pulls over every 2.5 to 3 hours. 2.75 hours. It's just a fact. It's an objective fact about Americans. You may be more, you may be less, but the average, the 95th percentile of Americans pulls over on a road trip every 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm that average American. And I know I just told you why I like to do it. But if I'm going to do that, I want to get the most bang for my buck while I'm charging, because I'm going to charge. Like most people are going to gas up. I'm going to charge up. And so battery chemistry, EV battery chemistry, is definitely different than the way a gasoline tank physics and chemistry is. So with a gasoline tank, let's say you have a 15-gallon gasoline tank in an internal combustion engine car. The amount of time it takes you to fill up the physical space in your gas tank with that first gallon as compared to that 15th gallon is exactly the same. Now, I mean, you may manipulate it a bit because you don't want to overflow, so you may slow it down, but make no mistake about it. In a vacuum, the process of filling up the physical space, the physical space of that gas tank is exactly the same for every single gallon in that 15-gallon tank. So the fourth gallon is the same amount of time it takes as the first gallon, and the 8th gallon is the same amount of time as the 4th or 5th gallon, and so on and so forth. No different. So whereas with battery chemistry, not physics, but the chemistry within a battery, those electrons and those lithium ions, it is different. So the amount of time it takes to charge your EV battery from 10 to 50 to 60%, so let's just say 10 to 60%, or let's just make it easy, 0 to 50%, the amount of time it takes for you to go from 0 to 50% is significantly less the amount of time it takes to go from 50 to 100. And so that may seem a little strange to folks who have never driven an EV and have always operated in the internal combustion engine world, because it's like, that's not the way the physics of a gas tank works, right? That's not the way the physics of any container works. When you fill up a jug, the first quart in that 2-gallon jug is going to be the same amount of time as the last quart. But with battery chemistry, it's different. And remember what I told you? It's because we're not filling it up with anything. We're pushing things around. We're pushing electrons and lithium ions from the cathode back over to the anode with higher voltage than what's in the battery. So it's different. It's not physics, it's chemistry. Well, I shouldn't say it's not fit, but you know where I shouldn't say it's not physics, but it's predominantly chemistry, and it's a different chemistry than what you're doing when you're filling up a physical space. And so the best analogy I can use, the one that's always been the best for me, is a football stadium. And let me put a pin in that, and I will end out this example for you as soon as we pull into my brother-in-law's rehab facility, figure out where it's going to take us, and then we will go find a parking spot. All right, we're coming around here. Doesn't look like there's any parking spots here in front. Okay, we're coming around here. No parking spots around here. Yeah, we're gonna have to probably go back over to the back end of the parking lot, but that is fine. Let's see what we can do here. That's gonna come to the front. All right, let's let that end. And then I'm gonna pull navigation back up. Let's see, we're pointing, let's go over here. Let's just see how that does. We'll just see. And if it acts like it's starting to pull us out of the parking lot, I'll stop it and just manually park or do auto park if I can. But we just want to see. First step is just drop a pin. And we'll just see how it does. Nothing wrong with that. Is it going to take us right? No. I may not have set it out far enough. We'll just see. Hopefully it takes a right here to go towards the rest of the parking, and it is. Oh, it's going to park us at the Employee of the Year? No, I don't want to go there. I'm not the Employee of the Year. All right. Yeah, it's going to end there. Let me give it one more shot. And like I said, if it starts going into, like it's going out of the parking lot, I will just go and manually park it. Yeah, it's basically saying we're here. All right. Well, I'm going to go manually park it here in a little bit. And, but let me give you the quick on the football stadium. So imagine, like, and here's the reason why the stadium analogy works is because as you continue to push those electrons and those lithium ions back over to the anode, that anode gets more and more full. It gets higher voltage, and it's just getting chock full. You want it to. It's getting chock full of those. Well, for every one of those electrons and lithium ions you send back over there, there's less room. So those remaining lithium ions and electrons, they're trying to find a space over here, and it takes more time to do that. And so the best analogy I can use is NRG Stadium, where the Houston Texans play. So on a Sunday morning, if the Texans have a noon game, if you were to show up to tailgate at 8 or 9 a.m., how hard is it going to be for you to find a parking spot in NRG parking lot? Probably not hard at all, right? If you get there at 8 or 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning, you're just going to be able to cruise right into the NRG Stadium parking lot. And I mean, literally, you're just going to be able to dart across the stadium and get a parking spot all the way up close to the front. So that's the first electrons and lithium ions going back over to the cathode. Let's say instead of 9 a.m., you show up at 10:30 or 11 a.m. for a noon game. Well, I mean, you probably still get through the gate pretty easily. And then once you get into the parking lot, you're no longer just darting across that parking lot, right? By 11 a.m., you're probably, traffic's already filling up, so you're having to go down some lanes, but you find a spot pretty easy. And the spot's probably about, midway. You're not having to do as long of a drive. All right. So that's your 50th percentile electron and lithium ion. But let's say for a noon game, You show up at 11:58 a.m. How do you think that process is going to be? And let's not just say this is the Texans game. This is the Texans made it to the AFC Championship, and it's a home playoff game for the Texans, and it's a noon game, and you show up at 11:58 coming through the gate for the parking lot. What do you think it's going to be like? You're going to be circling around that parking lot for a while trying to find a spot. That is your 98%. So that's what I'm saying. That's why 0 to 50 is about a 12 to 15 minute charge cycle, whereas 50 to 100 is about 35 to 45 minutes. So when they say it takes 45 minutes to an hour to charge a EV battery 0 to 100%, they are absolutely right. But I want to also tell you, nobody does that. Not one person charges it 0 to 100% at one sitting. I mean, it is very, very few scenarios where you would ever do that. And that's why nobody does that. So yes, with the current state of battery chemistry and battery physics, does it take about 45 to 50 minutes to fully charge, go all the way up to 100%? It absolutely does. Is that 3 to 4 times longer than what most people do when they're filling up a gas tank, 0 to 100% of the physical space in the gas tank? Yes. But I'm telling you, nobody in a Tesla, nobody in any EV operates on a road trip like that. We just don't. And so that's why I personally stay in that 10 to 60% range, because it only takes me about 15 minutes. Now, if I'm at, let's say I want to get up to 60, maybe a little north of 60, it may take me 20 minutes, but I'm telling you, I can get my charge cycles down to 15 minutes. I've done a charge cycle at one point that was 7 minutes. I went from 8% charge to, I want to say, 35 to 40% in 7 minutes. I just hopped back right on the road, and I was essentially just going charger to charger. And at the time, I just wanted to see a bunch of different chargers. But I had a charge cycle that was 7 minutes. I mean, there were people that were still trying to get out of had put the nozzle in their gas pump and were still cleaning out their truck and hadn't even gone in the convenience store, and I was already gone. So anyway, that's one aspect I wanted to explain to you about battery charging as well. So we got some more stuff. I'm about to go pick up my brother-in-law. So probably won't be talking about battery charging on the way home, but on my next video, I will continue on with EV battery charging. But like I said, probably not going to bore my brother-in-law. I want to catch up with him anyway. So, all right, well, I'm going to go manually park, and I will see y'all in a little bit with my brother-in-law. Bye, everybody. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
We rolling?
We rolling, man. Let's see how it does coming out of here.
All right, bye, Encompass.
Man, you've spent a lot of time at this place. So you were here almost 2 weeks this time, and you were here a week and a half last time. So you've been like a full month at this place. You know every inch of this place, don't you?
Yeah, I know their program, and I liked it the first time. This is Encompass Health for the Woodlands we're talking about. I highly recommend it for anybody that has a
stroke or
a family member that had a stroke, surgery like I did, or anything. These folks is amazing. They treat you like family.
Nurses are pretty.
Yeah.
Just messing with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here for prettiness. If I want prettiness, I'll go to a strip club. You know? But they're pretty nurses, you know.
Yeah, we're just playing.
The staff here is amazing.
We're just playing.
Professional. They give you medicine. They tell you what you're getting. They don't force you to take your meds. You could decline it, whatever you don't want to take. And they're pretty much on point with their professionality. You know.
Yeah.
It's a really, really amazing place. Too bad it's my last time coming to anything like this.
Well, no, that's good.
Yeah.
That means you're done with all this. Now it's just about getting your body. So essentially what they do is they help somebody who's been immobilized. And I think I said this before, is that their specialty is like if you've had a family member that's had a stroke or like a heart attack or brain aneurysm or anything that debilitates your body, like, you know, it's like, this is not physical therapy for like if you're working on your layup or your pull-up jumper. That's not that kind of. This is like people that have had strokes and need and literally have lost the use of some of their limbs and most of their body. That's what they're really good at, is helping you actually get back to having a functional life.
Yeah, the physical therapy is really, really good. Really good. Yeah.
See, I just noticed getting you into the Tesla, you seem to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they still got you in your Roman legion about to go attack the Gauls type of armor.
Well, I made a promise to them that I'll wear it when it's supposed to be worn.
Yeah.
You know, in the vehicle.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, man. Just put that thing on when you're in a vehicle. But now when you're driving, you know, but we'll probably got to wait a few days before you feel like might have to dip your toe in there for driving.
Yeah, it's going to be a few weeks. I'm not planning on driving anytime soon.
Yep. No, that makes sense.
Just for, for others' safety, you know.
Yeah, your reflexes are probably not all there. Yep.
I don't want to, I'm not going to jeopardize my life or the life of others.
Yep. That makes sense. But yeah, you look like you were getting around a heck of a lot better today than when I even last saw you, gosh, about 4 or 5 days ago, right before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
I had no choice.
Eagles just put a smackdown on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was so I picked, I did a video the morning of the Super Bowl. Actually, it was early afternoon. I was going and running some errands, so it's on videotape. I picked the Eagles. I picked Jalen Hurts to be the MVP. I said, I think that the Eagles will win, that Jalen Hurts is going to ball out and be the MVP. But where I got it wrong is I said, I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, but I just think the Eagles will win by 4. Well, I was wrong about that. Wrong. It was a hard-fought first 10 minutes of the game. That's about it. And then Jalen Hurts definitely balled out, but I didn't expect my homeboy and his offensive line. I mean, I don't want to put it on his O-line, but everything starts with the O-line. But his O-line just got demolished.
They didn't. I mean, look. Okay, this is my theory.
Go ahead.
You got Trump in the building. The refs have no way of cheating because he'll call them out. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're gonna go down that road. You're gonna go down the. They had 47 in the 45, 47 in the building.
47 in the building.
Oh, damn.
You know.
Yeah.
There's no gonna be no fraud. You know what I mean? So that's what people are saying is they wasn't even a good team. They shouldn't even have been in the Super Bowl. It should have been the Bills or Texans.
Well, they definitely did not look like a Super Bowl team on Sunday. That's for
they didn't have the refs on their side, and they the refs still didn't call the offensive holding. You know, they had somebody in the headlock, but he still got to Mahomes.
Yeah. Well, I remember that first bad call that the refs made, where they called offensive pass interference against the Eagles, and I was like, oh no, here we go. This early? Yeah, the refs are going to do this early? But ended up, I thought the refs they had some bad calls in that game. Me personally, I think the refs called it pretty evenly.
Yeah.
I think they gave up enough bad calls against both teams equally and with the exact same amount of impact. So ultimately, I don't think the refs were part of the game, but really, at the end of the day, Jalen Hurts made sure the refs weren't going to be part of the game.
No, how about their defense, though? You got to
the defense.
The defense.
The secondary was just ball hawking.
Yeah, the four in front.
Yeah.
Man.
The 4 in front, but I will even say their secondary was just ball hawking.
Yeah. I
mean, they weren't letting anybody get any separation whatsoever. Kelsey was basically, I was almost like he went into, what do they call that? When the FBI, you're an informant and they put you in, what's that program they put people in?
Protective custody?
Well, yeah, but where you take on a different identity or...
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I was like, where the hell did he go? Like, I saw him at the beginning of the game, and then, yeah, it's like he went into FBI protective custody for the rest of the game. Took on a different... All right, we're merging over to the middle. Very good job, but we got another... Yeah, see, this is... With the weather like it is today, and there's people just... And now he's pulling out. FSD's handling it all really well. But yeah, that was I mean, I was pulling for the Eagles, obviously, because I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. He's from Houston, so you always got to pull for your peeps. Kind of like when, even though you're not a Steelers fan, what was his name? Juju.
Yeah, Juju. He was actually on the what do you call it? On the playing for the Chiefs. Yeah, Juju played.
That's
for,
right.
He was on their team. He I don't know.
He went to your same high school, right?
No, he went to school with my son.
Oh, that's right. He went to school with your son.
My son, yeah.
So they went to different high school.
He went to the same high school two went to. Two graduated from Poly High School.
Poly, Long Beach Poly.
Long Beach Poly, yeah.
A lot of people went to that Long Beach Poly. That
Snoop Dogg and
Snoop Dogg went there. Cameron Diaz went there, and then one of the girls from 90210, Amber Thiessen or Amber,
no, I think she went to Milliken.
Oh, did she? Oh, there was somebody on 90210 that went to Long Beach Poly.
No, she went to Cumberland with my older sister.
Oh, okay. With
elementary school. Yeah, with my older sister.
With Chiqui?
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck's going
Nicolas
on
Cage.
here.
Nicolas Cage went to
Yeah, Nicolas Cage went to...
there was an accident.
Was that an accident?
Something. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either. I think you're right. I think they had a fender bender. Yep, they had a fender bender. So everybody was trying to get around them. Steer it to the side, folks. Steer it to the side.
Yeah, I've been anticipating on them boys waiting for me at the house. They ready to jump on me.
Oh, those dogs, they're going to go crazy, man. Yeah, just be careful. Are you ready for that? Are you going to be, I mean, the good news is you got a kind of a self-contained room that you don't have to come out of too much.
Yeah.
But anytime you do, those dogs, there's no way I can sit them down and say, don't.
I got the walker though. I'm gonna have to use that rollator and the walker throughout the house.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't really learned to get some steps in,
Yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, right now, the time between where you are at right now to the point where you'll be able to get back to working and earning again, that's all going to be on you, man, and how much you get around and walk and get, all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, I still have a lot of pain on my foot.
Oh, I'm sure you. Okay. No, it's not going to be tomorrow. It ain't going to be next week. It ain't going to be 2 weeks from now. But the difference between, say, 2 months and 4 months may be getting around and trying to. And granted, today's not going to be the day to do it. That's for sure. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That could be a difference in a month of how quick you're able to get back and get back to your earnings potential. Because if I know you got an itch in your pocket to get that jingle going again.
Yeah.
That jingle in the pocket. Because you're a big earner, man. You work your ass off. But, yeah, you definitely need to make sure you're back to 100% before you get out there. The good thing is they've done everything they needed to do, so you should be able to get to 100%. You should be better a few months from now than you were before all this happened.
Yeah.
But now it's on you. Did they give you a list of exercises or things you need to do?
Yeah, I also have physical therapy on 25th.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Right there in Kingwood where the HEB is.
Yep. The one over there by Torchy's Tacos?
Yep. That's exactly what they said where it's by, Torchy's Tacos.
You got it on the 25th. What's today? Today's the 11th?
Yeah, I have a
12th. Today's the 12th. So in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment on the 17th right there in Kingwood where we could go all the time.
Okay. Well, Two and I may be in Wichita, so we'll get all that figured out.
I could Uber.
That, or we get Jamie or Angel to. Worst case, you could just Uber.
I could Uber, or I could, I might be good enough to drive by myself by then.
Who knows? I mean, that is 5 days from now.
Yeah.
So.
See how these Modelos kick in.
Yeah. I was about to say, you haven't had. The last Modelo you had was what, Sunday night?
Yeah.
So it's been a minute. There's, I think there's like 2 or 3 left in the fridge.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to drink it right now.
Yeah.
Because they gave me these medication and
Yeah, give yourself a day.
yeah, the pain medication. Basically, it works, but they gave me a whole different pain medication. So I gotta, you know, I don't want to take pain medication and alcohol.
No, absolutely. That's a deadly, not deadly, but you know what I'm saying. It's a bad combination. It's just gonna make your stomach feel worse.
Yeah.
So let that do its job. What else? Yeah, so nothing. Yeah, we were supposed to go. So they canceled the trip again. So this is the second time she's had her. We were ready to go, and I can't remember exactly. I think I want to say there's a snowstorm again.
Yeah,
going through the Midwest.
I think it's passed already.
Yeah.
That's
so they canceled everybody like right at the last minute. They canceled it again at the last minute, and then so now she's supposed to go up there next week. So what we were supposed to be going this week, obviously, but it'll be next week instead. But don't worry about you. We'll get, like you said, the worst case scenario is you do an Uber.
Yeah.
But we can always line up people as well if we need to. And like I said, who knows? By the time we get to early next week, you may be a bit more self-sufficient. That's a nasty day. Go ahead.
Yeah, all she has to do is just, if anything, I got a handicap parking placard anyways. But I'll probably need her to clear out that back seat, whatever's in the back seat. I could just throw the.
Yeah, I think they already cleared it out.
Okay.
I think so. I think they took it and put it in. I know 2 had a bunch of her office stuff. Like, so basically, when she cleared everything out of her old PPI office, she put it in your truck. But I think she cleared that out. If there's anything left in there, we'll see. I mean, at this point, we're just trying to keep a path where you can at least walk through the garage.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. But everything else we're just putting in the garage for now. How you been feeling otherwise? Just now obviously you're getting around better, but overall, like, how does your body feel? Still a whole lot of pain, or you know,
it's just some random pain that pops up like
every once in a while.
Like I feel like I got a sprained ankle one day.
Yeah.
Next day I feel like my knees has got too much water in there.
Yeah. That makes sense, you know, because they rooted around in your lower back.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, the back impacts everything else in your body. Everything. That's why when they do acupuncture, they do it around your spinal column, right? Because everything, all of your nerves, senses, blood, all of it, the blood circulation, it comes out from your vertebrae. And so that doesn't surprise me at all that you'll just kind of have these funny pains here and there. But as long as they're decreasing in severity and frequency each day,
yeah,
that's the main thing. If it's like, if you were to tell me, nah, JC, I have the exact same amount of pain today I had 2 weeks ago, that would be an issue. I'd be like, all right, something went wrong. But at least from your body language, it seems like you're in a lot better spirits than you were, say, a week or so ago.
Yeah, they said these pains is normal, so they said it'll go away in like 24 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just all they rooted it around in your back, man. That ain't no joke. Wasn't like you had a tooth pulled. They carved into your vertebra.
Speaking of which, I got to set an appointment up for the dentist. While I got this off top, I'm supposed to get some dental work done.
Yeah, I was gonna say you now that you're gonna have some downtime to rehab before you get back to work, you ought to take this opportunity to do anything. And let's just be blunt. 2 reasons. Number one, you got the downtime.
Yeah.
Number 2, you've already paid up your
Out of pocket?
out of pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, I think dental work is different though.
It is. I'm just talking about other stuff.
obviously.
Anything else that you needed to get done?
Yeah, that's pretty much it for right now.
Yeah.
Until I get,
Yeah, you're right. Dental work is a different insurance thing.
yeah, different policy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When that goes, so the insurance, healthcare, my insurance provider, they had a caseworker call me, check up on me, make sure I'm following up on everything that I need to do.
Blue Cross?
No, Cigna.
Cigna, that's right.
Cigna. They're pretty good. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, Cigna's. I've usually heard pretty good stuff about Cigna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Aetna. But no, that's good. So what do you have a conversation with a caseworker?
Yeah, she's supposed to call me back today. Actually, what time is it? Probably like a couple hours. I should be getting
12:45.
Yeah, she just want to make sure I'm following up with the outpatient physical therapy.
Yeah.
Doctor's appointment.
Yep.
And this and that. I guess they have to follow up after the major surgery.
Well, that's part of their checklist, right? Because you got to remember they're trying to contain cost as well.
Yeah.
And they're willing to take on, right, through medical insurance, those costs, but they want to make sure that you're doing everything on your end.
Yeah.
To do that. So that's pretty normal. But that's good they're doing it too. I mean, you should be doing that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, they probably got a checklist of stuff when somebody's been going through major surgeries. So obviously, Cigna's probably got several different spreadsheets of people. There's folks like me that just pay their premiums and then they never see them again. Like I said, medical insurance is essentially just to keep you from going bankrupt if something bad ever happens. But the vast majority of us just pay into it and never use it, right?
Yeah.
So they've got that spreadsheet. I'm the spreadsheet they love. Just give me your money, and I ain't got to do a damn thing for you. I'll be there for you if you need me, but I'm never. So I'm their favorite spreadsheet. But then they've got another spreadsheet that's you, where you're actually getting your money's worth right now.
Yeah, anybody that does construction and they offer medical insurance,
you got to take it.
I advise you to take it.
Yeah, because workers' comp ain't gonna hack it.
You never know what happens in your life, and and for your family too, not only for yourself.
Well, if you're a construction worker, that's almost a no-brainer because it's not if, it's when, right?
Yeah.
That you're going to have some sort of ailment or physical issue.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully not as major as what you're going through, but still something. And yeah, workers' comp ain't going to hack it for a lot of stuff.
No.
So get that medical insurance. Well, fortunately for you, your employer, Berkel, has a pretty good system set up.
Yes, they do.
Yep, we're going to Walgreens, about 3 more miles till we get to Walgreens. Shopping and ice skating at Valley Ranch Town Center. Now, how the heck are you going to ice? They must have an indoor ice skating rink over there. I'll have to check that out one of these days. I'm going to say, how are you going to ice skate when it's 63 degrees outside? Oh, man. Yeah, so everybody's doing pretty good. No big changes. The house is gonna look about the same. I mean, obviously, two cleaned up most of the house for Chinese New Year, or I should say Lunar New Year, a couple of weeks ago, but it's probably gotten back to normal.
It's decorated. She decorated everything.
Yeah, she did a little bit of decoration. She didn't go all out this go around, but she did a normal fruit and red and gold decorations. She's doing the vegetarian thing for 40 days. Or however long that is.
What year is it? What's the year of the what?
It's the monkey. Year of the monkey.
Oh, the monkey.
Yep. What's your sign?
The horse. My
The
sister
horse.
Jamie's the monkey.
Jamie's, that's right, that's her year. 2 and I are both roosters.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a horse.
Yeah, that's when I say, yeah, 2 and I are both roosters. It's like, oh, so we know y'all's age difference.
So that, I didn't know that was that one with the dragon. That was the glass thing with liquid in there. I didn't know that was brandy.
Oh yeah. It's I don't know what kind of brandy it is, but yeah, it's supposed to be like
Really good.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't drink brandy, but I'm assuming it is. But that's kind of like the big thing. I've noticed that when any of two's friends get together for like parties, what's it, 1734 or 1736? What's that stuff?
The Henderson cognac?
Yeah. That's a big, it's all shots of that. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all are going to kill me. You got to be careful with that stuff.
Yeah, it's highly flammable.
Ooh, inside and outside. About quarter of a mile from the Walgreens. What we'll do is I'm gonna let it pull into the Walgreens parking lot and do its thing, and then once it's done, I'll get it into the try to steer it to the drive-through. Only thing is, on the Tesla navigation, a lot of these small rinky-dink parking lots, they don't have mapped out, so probably just have to manually go through the drive-through there. It's no big whoop. It's busy over. I guess it's about right. It's about 12:50 lunch hour.
Is there anything to eat at the house?
Hold on one second.
Oh, okay.
Just concentrating on these. I wanted to make sure it didn't. There we go. Let them get through first. There we go. This is it, right?
Yes.
And there's the drive-through. And there we go. Got the home in there. Let's hit it. Let's see how we do here.
Man, that was a little bit of workout.
That was good though. See, if you do something like that every single day, I mean, I know that's tiring, but that might not be a bad idea, just to go to a grocery store and grab a cart and just walk around a little bit. We can go do that. You know what I mean? I still got some oncoming vehicles here.
I still got that purple thing. I could walk around the house, just do laps like.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, do not go now. We got a big old semi coming down the road. Or I'll be right there with you in that thing. Okay, we're getting, it's creeping up. It's gonna have to go. There we go. Good job. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely get around the house to do stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Saying at a certain point, you just got to get out of the house to do some of it. Like, you're not the amount of, like, because you want to be able to go in straight lines too for a while.
Yeah.
And just have that space to move around and shit. I would say what you just did You know, we go to HEB or Kroger or something like that, and just hell, you don't have to buy anything. Just grab a cart and walk up and down the aisles for about 10, 15 minutes, and you're done. Get back in the car. We'll drive home. And you'd be like, right now, you went up a lane, went to the bathroom, came back, and went down a lane. That was it. And it's like you're feeling it right now, right?
Yeah.
But I bet you that's healthy as hell for your body.
Yeah.
Because that's if you really want your body to start talking to itself the right way, it's got to get that blood flow.
Yeah.
It's got a sense like, well, what do you regularly do then, dude? Well, this is what I regularly do. I'll walk forward. I'll walk to side.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well then let's start rebuilding. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. Is it might be as easy as that. Is like we head to the grocery store and just walk around for 5-10 minutes. And I'm not talking about a lot. I'm talking about first day may just be go up aisle 1, come back down aisle 2, and let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You never know. But then you get in there and start walking. You're like, okay. Next day, it's like, oh, let's go down aisle 3. You see what's on aisle 3 and aisle 4. And next thing you know, you're walking the whole all the aisles. Heck, that's what a lot of those old people do, right? They show up at the malls or the grocery stores and they just walk up and down aisles or around the mall. That's what keeps their blood flowing, right? Well, at least it's starting to clear up a little bit out here. Not as rainy. They still have not gotten these traffic light turned on. This thing's been there since like summertime, it seems like. They still don't have them turned on. I didn't know Postal had their crane yard over here. That's a big old, that outfit they're huge.
Posto?
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Until they moved out here to Porter. You know, that big old yard they have there at the corner of the road. Big old fab shop. I think what they do is they do steel fabrication. Like that. I think they're one of those companies that just gets a whole bunch of raw steel in there. And then they'll fabricate like into sub-assemblies and stuff, you know, that people may need.
Yeah, I see this. They
got a big old yard.
They got a couple cranes right there.
Yeah. And then that main yard they have there at the corner, that place is huge. And it's always humming. Like, I always see semis going in and out of that place. And there's always activity. So something must be going on. Steel industry's waking back up. School's still in session. How's speaking of school, how's Ariel doing?
She's good.
Awesome. Doing better?
Yeah. She better be doing better.
Well, I'm assuming you talk to her every day.
Yeah, she didn't call me yesterday, but she's been calling me. Throughout the surgery, she calls me every day. She called me every day.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm ready to lay down and watch some Netflix.
There you go.
I think Cobra Kai's last final season is out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
There you go.
I think it's out. I'm not sure. It should be out either like sometime this week or some, or
Do
sorry,
some
out.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, just chill back, watch some Netflix. You see, Luka got traded to the Lakers.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Well, I don't know what the Mavs are thinking. I mean,
Yeah, that was.
it always seems like that's what happens. You get these big, and then they go to the Lakers, and then watch them. They'll win 2 or 3 championships.
Yeah.
LeBron will stay on for a few more years.
Yeah, but you know what though? I'm not gonna lie. Like, a lot of people just stop watching basketball. They just got like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the sports, really at this point, it's just football. Like, I'll watch a little bit of baseball too, especially like the playoffs. But basketball, and I'll watch some college basketball, like March Madness. But NBA's just gotten tough. Plus, let's just.
I got a
be blunt.
ticket.
Oh, did you?
I don't know.
Oh, look at that! It's parking.
There's a ticket on my windshield.
Well, I'm looking at this right now,
Okay.
real quick. All right. Awesome. Yeah, parked this.